Let's go. Welcome to On the Attack with Mac, a podcast meant to inspire, motivate, and even educate you to go out there and win in life. I'm your host, Cornell Mack, and I am geeked up today because for the last 24 hours or so, we've been having nonstop snow. It's finally over, but your boy got through it. We went out 2 times. I'm going to tell you all about it, but we start each and every show with live viewer shout outs, followed by the motivational minute. And then the word of the week, and then the winner of the week, and last but certainly not least, my man, Marcus Tate, the LBC OG's word of the week. So if you want to be shouted out from Facebook or YouTube, make sure you comment down below so that I know that you're here. But the people on Instagram, we always get started with them first because I can actually see them. So again, if you want to be shouted out right now during the live viewer shout outs, make sure you comment down below so that I know that you're here. But we're going to have a fun show tonight. I'm also going to answer questions live from the people who are watching. So if you have questions, put them in the chat right now. And at some point, we will go back and I will start answering those questions. But I always have to give you the show first. All right. And so we're going to get to these live viewer shout outs right now, and we have, without further ado, first to the party on Instagram, looks like it was MG Landscapes, and then we got Pack Reinhard. How you doing? CR Lawns, Wisconsin, Cat's Paw LLC, who actually Cat's Paw LLC, or it might be Cat Spring, I'm not sure. Someone gave me a great tip after watching Ricky Pro Lawn Services shop tour that we just did a couple weeks ago. It just came out on Friday, and they told me something, so I might mention that here too. But we got ADC Yard Works in the building, Big Buckeye Lawn Care in the building, DJ Craig Evans. He must make some music. What's going on with you? Central Washington Landscaping, DK Lawn Service, Don Castro. How are you today? D Osborne 16. I always want to say that funny, but we got Don Castro. Says big blessing. Seeds Landscaping and LBCOG is in the building. JR Lawn Social is in the building. And then over here on the good old YouTubes, we have Penn Lawns. Says Dave is here. How is everyone? He was the first to the party. Spencer's Lawn Care followed that up. About 4 minutes later, what's going on with you? Clayton Blunt, what's going on? Wilbur Eifert, how are you? And Dave's Lawn Service 4220. How are you doing tonight? It's going to be a fun show. Like I said, we had some snow. Let me know down in the comments. Do you do snow if you're in the north somewhere, or maybe they had some snow down south? I don't know, but do you do snow? Let me know, and let me know where you're from, because there's been crazy snow happening all over the place. When I was in Florida, it happened up here in Ohio and Michigan and Pennsylvania, all of the places that I've been to. And my brother took care of it then. It happened again. We got another 5-inch storm that came from all day Saturday through all day Sunday. But we'll get to that here in a second. We got Woodbrine All Seasons in the building. Dawes Albor says, starting a new podcast with a couple friends and should be releasing the first episode by Christmas. You are one of the guys that inspired me to start it with my friends from different industries. That's fire, man. DM me, D Osborne, DM me the link to your thing so I can listen to it, man. I'd love to support you. What Brian says, we have not had any yet, unfortunately. He's in Bend, Oregon. My man DK Lawn Services says he has 37 properties in New Jersey. They had 5 inches and he completed all snowblower work. Wow, that's fire. That is fire. Over here we got Dave Lawn Services is New Jersey. Wilbur 6 inches in Cincinnati. Clayton says he does snow in Kansas City. It only snowed once. He does residential, but he's confused putting an ATV to work doing sidewalks for commercial properties. That's fire. Penn Lawn says South Bend, Indiana, 45 minutes from Lake Michigan. We had some lake effect snow. What is that like? Lake effect snow. I'm happy that doesn't affect us too much. We do have Lake Erie, but it's not close to Pittsburgh, so we don't have those issues. I had a Faygo Red Pop. Who drinks Faygo? Faygo Red Pop. This is my childhood happening right in front of you. Now I'm 42 with gray hair and all of that. But let me see. Do we got anybody else? Champion Lawn Cuts is in the building. One stop slab shop. Is that a motorcycle thing? That's what they call motorcycles, I think. Slabs? Is that what they call motorcycles? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. What are you actually into? I talk a lot about doing the things that you actually love. Some of us might not love lawn care or whatever business that you may be in, but what do you actually love doing? Because that's the reason why you do the work. All right. More than just family. All right. Family goes without saying, but what do you actually love? I want to read some comments about the thing you actually do this for. And it can't just be about money. Man, money is just money. It's not even really real. All right. But the thing that you love and the thing that you have passion for, and the reason why you do the work that you do so you could do that thing that you have passion for is the real thing. So let me know down in the comments what those things are. Red Pop, my man, sees landscaping says that is fire. But let's get to this week's motivational minute. We got time out, time to cut landscape is in the building. Champion Lawn says no snow in Texas. It's a hustle or relax. I advertise free appliance pickup, and I have a guy buy them from me 50 each. I do mechanic work. I just love to hustle. I love to hear that you love the hustle. That is fire. Time to cut says what's going on. Not much. Willie the Grass Man, my homeboy, is in the building. Without him, I wouldn't even have the group that I have. So I appreciate that. But let's get to this week's motivational minute. I was on I was I'd be on doom scrolling on Instagram or TikTok and even Facebook. Facebook, I'm always watching the cow, the Nate the Hoof Man, or I think is his name, and he's taking nails and rocks out of hooves of cows. And then there's this other person I can't remember, but they be trimming up the doggone horse hooves, and I don't know. It just captivates me on Facebook, as well as some comedians. There's this guy named Butter. I am Butter or Butter IMB or something like that. He's a Baltimore Ravens fan, and I love his content. He is so funny. He was just on Nightcap with uh, Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco, so that was kind of cool. But the motivational minute, let me pull up this picture because I want to read this thing to you that I read about something, and then I have a little point at the end of it. But there's a lady named Susan Bennett. Let me know in the comments if you know who Susan Bennett is. But I'm going to tell you her story quickly. And it says Susan Bennett was hired to record herself speaking nonsensical phrases every single day, hours in a booth, reading random words with no structure, no connection, no meaning. Purple monkey dishwasher, the quick brown fox. It was complete gibberish. She had years of experience voicing GPS systems and automated phones. Usually, she could tell what her voice would be used for, but not this time. She had no clue. She pushed through anyway, completed the job in just under a month. Then the company dropped contact. Have that ever happened to you? Someone wants to get their yard done, and then they just drop contact when you give them your price because they thought it was going to be 25, but it's 80. And now they don't want to talk to you no more. We've all been there. But they dropped contact. They never explained what it was for. The project faded from her memory. 6 years later, in 2011, she got an email from a friend. Hmm. The email said, I just heard your voice on the new iPhone. It turns out the company needed those strange phrases because they captured every possible combination of sounds a human could make. With that data, they created a fully automated voice system that became Siri. Susan recorded gibberish in booths for weeks and accidentally became the voice heard by billions. How cool is that? She became the voice for the iPhone. Siri, have you ever said, Hey Siri, and you hear that voice? Well, that lady's name is Susan Bennett. And here is the point to that story. Sometimes you are called to do something, and there's a process that you got to go through so that you can find that greatness on the other side. And it might not always make sense to you. I know it didn't make sense to Susan, but damn it, she has been heard by billions. She's probably had more conversations with people that she hasn't actually had than any person in the history of the world. All because she stayed true to the job, even though she didn't understand it. And now she has been blessed upon blessed upon blessed. And how many times has Siri blessed you if you're an iPhone user? Right? How many times have you just said, Hey Siri, or look something up and Siri responds to you? You just let me know down in the comments. But I do know this. Don't stop doing what is required, because if you stop, then your blessing goes out the door and it goes to someone else who's actually doing the work that they don't understand, because they know in the end the blessing will be given. All you got to do is do your part. Everything else has already been done for you. It's now just your turn to go in the booth, speak the nonsensical words, the gibberish. All right, because there is a bigger plan that is at place for you in your life. And if you would just not stop, don't question the gibberish. Just do it because you're called to do it. And then watch yourself be blessed. And maybe you'll be remembered like Susan Bennett. And one day we'll say, hey, whatever your name is, right? And you'll be the voice of billions too. Let's go. That was Susan Bennett. I like that story. It was really cool to hear about some people who just do things. They don't even know why they're doing it, right? She wanted to get paid or whatever, and she did something, and it turns out she will now be remembered in the annals of history. But now we got to get to this week's winner of the week. Each week, people send me things, and this person has been sending me things often. So they've been the winner of the week a bunch of times. I don't have a lot of time to go around looking for things and people. All right. I'm going to be honest with you. So, the easiest way that we can get a winner of the week is to have you nominate yourself or anybody else that you believe is winning in life or business or family or marriage or education. It doesn't matter. Your win is your win. And I just want to be a part of it. So, if you would DM me at Mac underscore landscaping 412 on Instagram, or email me at maclandscaping412 at gmail.com and nominate yourself or anyone else who you deem is a winner so that we can honor them on one of these shows as a winner of the week. But this week's winner of the week in this Christmas time, one of the cool things is welcoming new people to your family, right? And when you have new people in your family and Christmas comes around, everyone wants to get that new person a gift. And my man David Penn with Penn Brothers Lawn Care, he was a winner of the week last week. They have 8 grandkids, I believe, is what he said to me. 8 grandkids. And once they got all of the 8 grandkids out of the way, David looked around and he said, man, we have been really blessed. And with this blessing that we have been given, why don't we pay it forward and bless someone else? And so, generous givers, that is what we're called to be. You're supposed to be happy when you give. And why? Because when you give to someone else, you give them a blessing. And when someone else is blessed, guess who else gets blessed? You. All right. So be a generous giver. Be happy when you give. And if you have an abundance, man, make sure that you're taking care of other people. That's how we leave a lasting legacy. I know that happened for me. I'll tell you about it here in a second. But my man David Penn and his wife, they went out and they blessed a young boy and a young girl with a whole lot of Christmas presents. So Santa Claus is definitely coming down a couple kids' chimneys as well as millions around the world. And I'm excited about that. I always am. And even when there's a lot of people out there that Christmas might not be the best time for them. I know when I was a kid, it wasn't really for me. And the reason is because we didn't have a lot of things. Now, when you don't have a lot of things, it's kind of hard not to be happy about the things that you do get. Well, when I was 8 years old, I might have told this story before, but whenever I was 8 years old, I got called to the office. I went to, I want to say it was called Shaw Heights Elementary School in South Carolina. It was right by Shaw Air Force Base. And one day I got called to the office. I walk all on down to the office. Everybody thinks I'm in trouble. It's right around Christmas time. And I get down to the office and there's counselors in there and the principals and all of these people. And they're like, hey, Cornell, how you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm cool. What did I do? I don't think I did anything. But anytime you're a kid and you get called to that principal's office, it ain't good. All right. And I didn't think it was good for me. It turns out it was. Whenever I was 8 years old, I was a single mom. Pops was up here. I was down in South Carolina with my mom. And when I got called to the office that day, it was for a fundraiser thing that I won. I was a one of those kids who was poor. So someone nominated us, just like we nominate the winners of the week. Someone nominated my family, myself. I want to say in second grade, I believe. And I got to go to Toys R Us and I was sponsored by two gentlemen, and we got $100 to go on a shopping spree around Toys R Us. I don't Is Toys R Us even still around? I'm not sure, but I was blessed by these two guys. I went around with that $100, and I won't lie. At the beginning, I was selfish. I was selfish. I went and got all my own things, and shoot, I went and got my own stuff. So I did have a younger brother and a baby sister at the time. My brother is 6 years younger than me. My little sister is 9 years younger than me, I believe. So I was probably like 8. My brother was 2. I was 9. My brother was 2. My sister was a newborn. And so they were like, "Hey, you went around, you got everything you want." I was like, "Yeah, sure, I did." And then they was like, "Well, here's an extra $100." The $100 in the early '90s, or was it might have been the late '80s. I was in second grade, so it's like '91 or something like that. 1991. Boy, I am getting old. My goodness gracious! But $100 was a lot of money back then for a shopping spree. So to get $200, I knew right then, and I took pretty much everything that I had bought for myself back. I put it back on the shelves, and I decided I was gonna go around and buy my brother and my sister things for Christmas. It was one of the best Christmases I ever had, just being a big brother. So I know what it's like. And now as an adult, my father was in prison for a lot of my life. And so I would get things periodically from my dad, but there was always people in my life that bought me Christmas gifts and things like that, because they knew what we were going through. And so whenever I became an adult, at church, there's this thing called the angel tree. And the angel tree had a whole lot of kids' names on it who had incarcerated parents. And I was a kid who had incarcerated parents. So I know what it felt like to have those Christmases when my pops was locked up and couldn't do anything. And I remember what that felt like, and I don't want kids to ever feel like that. It's about to make me emotional. Whew. So the angel tree, you pick these stickers off to have a kid's name, what they want, their parents' name, and then you take that sticker, you go buy the gifts that that parent wants to get for their kids. You wrap everything up, you slap that sticker on there, and then the kid gets to get something from their own parent on Christmas. Whew. Mm. So when David Penn sent me that DM and told me about him going out and blessing someone else, it just brought those memories and those emotions back for helping other people, being a generous giver and helping out people, because you don't know who those people that you help out are going to be in the future. And your kind act, your generous giving might be the reason why this person goes and changes the world in some way, shape, or form. So be a generous giver, especially during the holiday seasons. There's a lot of people who are out here that don't have a lot of family, that don't have a lot of stuff, that might not have a job and the means to provide a nice Christmas, but you can be the change that you want to see, to quote my man Mo Wells. So go out there, be a generous giver, just like my man David Penn, and then let me know about it, because it's not really cool to take pictures of things while you're doing the generous thing. It almost makes it like it's about you, and it ain't. And David let me know, and then I'm coming to you because he ain't make it about him. He just let me know that him and his family was going to be blessing someone else. And so I wanted to honor him as another winner of the week, because maybe it will inspire you in these last 2 weeks, 10 days that we have before Christmas, to go out and give to someone. I don't care if it's the homeless person. It's very cold out here right now. Go give a blanket away. Give a couple dollars out. Hand over a hamburger, some french fries, or something like that. Go buy some gifts for some kids. Go donate to your local charity, your local school. There's always kids who need something, and you can really brighten up someone's day by being a generous giver. So that's my spiel on all of that. Now let's get to this week's word of the week. Every week, my man Marcus Tate sends me a word of the week, as well as a lot of other people. And I like to give them to you because they always help me. So this week, Marcus Tate's word of the week from the LBC OG is who. Just like Dr. Seuss. The word who is defined as what or which person. Who is used to give further information about a person or people previously mentioned. The word who requires an answer. Listen to these statements. Who cut your lawn? Who is your brother? Or who won that game? One of the most important questions in life can be, who are you? When someone is asked who you are, ensure that your character speaks for itself as being worthy of respect and value. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it will be open. That is from Matthew 7, verse 8, the New King James Version of the Bible. Have a great week, Marcus Tate. Who are you? Who are you? When I think about who I think I am a husband, a father, a cousin, a brother, a grandson, a son, someone who has integrity, someone who wants to help other people out, someone who will sacrifice so that others can win. That's what I want people to say about me. Someone who brightened up their day, someone who was there to believe in them when they didn't believe in themselves. I want to be someone who is part of someone else's testimony. So I ask you, who are you and who do you want to be? How do you want to be remembered? That word who is dope, man. I like that. Shout out to my homie Marcus Tate, the LBCOG, always blessing us with a fire word of the week. I hope you have a wonderful week as we move into the rest of this week. And last but not least, before we get to this snow stuff, I want to plug the Winning Life Wednesday new show that we do on Wednesday nights, talking to entrepreneurs and others who are winning in life, business, marriage, any of those things I mentioned earlier. If you would like to be on Winner of the Week, you don't have to have $1 million business. You don't have to have a $10 million business. You could just be starting out. You don't even have to be in lawn care or the green industry. If you're listening to this and you feel like you have won in your life, you're being successful in your life, you're doing the things that you want to do, because if you are doing the things that you want to do and you can tell other people about it, it gives them the belief and the faith that they can do it too, because we're all humans. We all bleed red. Okay. And if someone else can do something, you can do it. If someone else can go somewhere, you can go. If someone else can create something, you also can create. And so when we talk to these people, I want them to share their stories. If you are willing to share your story, your business story, your life story, the things that you're doing so that you can be successful in what you deem success for your life, I want to talk to you. And this week, we're going to be talking to my man, Ricky Rodriguez, who is doing $200,000 a year, basically solo. This year, he has added 2 employees, and next year, he's looking to do some expansion. But for the previous couple years, he's been doing $200,000 a year solo with only 34 full service lawns down in Florida. And we're going to get to hear about that. I spent some time with Ricky at Top Golf when I was down in Florida. We did a shop tour together. He came and picked me up so that we could go around to my man Pablo, and I forgot the other guy's name, Jeff, I think his name was, and to do shop tours with them. And I have a new shop tour coming out this Friday on the 19th. So uh, yeah, there's that. Come check out Winning Life Wednesday this Wednesday, October 17th. And let's talk to Ricky's Pro Lawn Service so we could tell you what a winning life is to him, and maybe, just maybe, it can inspire, motivate, and I know he's going to do some educational things to go out there and win in your life, in your business, marriage, relationships with your children, all of those great things for why we do things. But now let's get to the main part of the show. Last but certainly not least. I got to stop saying last but certainly not least so much, because I think I say that a lot. But last but certainly not least, March 21st, 2026, we have the Win in Life Meetup Service Business Showcase, brought to you by myself, Mac Landscaping and Lawn Care. We have some sponsors that will be named later, but it is a service business showcase where you can bring your lawn care setup, your power washer setup, whatever it is that you use to get the work done that you do in your business. We want to see it. Last year, we had over 20 different lawn care setups. We had people with 24-foot trailers with Avant mini skids. I think that's what they're called, excavators, all types of cool things that you can actually get out there and try. It ain't Equip Expo by any means, but there will be different types of mowers. We had my man Sapantic Lawn Care had the yellow, what's that yellow mower that you sit down on? The things are Walker mowers. We had Walker mowers. We had Toro mowers, we had Skag mowers, Ferris mowers. bobcat mowers. We had push mowers. We had, like I said, skid steers, excavators, big trailers, people with just a regular truck. And this year we want to open it up to more people. It's not just about lawn care, but it is about the people who do service business work, especially the outdoor kind. Right. But if you do any sort of service business, if you clean carpets, if you have a restaurant, if you have a food truck and you want to be a part of it, man, hit me up, Mac underscore landscaping 412. I want you to be there. We would much rather hit up people who have service businesses and support those businesses. If not, we'll go into a restaurant and that's fine too. That's also a service business. But if you have a food truck, this is ways to make money on the go. We're out here trying to win in our life. And so my brother will be there making some fire lemonades with the lemon lineup. He has all types of cool things, pancakes and all, might be hot dogs, buffalo chicken dip. He got this nice, cool trailer that he sells his stuff out of with his Tesla truck. Boy, he got a Tesla truck. But anyway, he's going to be there. We'll have, there's already over 25 people signed up from 8 different states. Last year we had 116 people sign up from 5 different states. So it looks like we're already going to beat that number. I'm expecting, 200, maybe 300 people to be there. It's going to be in a huge parking lot. And I want to get, I don't know, 50 different setups out there of different types of businesses. So if you're interested, you can hit the link down in this description of this video or in the podcast. If you're listening on the podcast, down in the show notes. And I would love to see you there March 21st, 2026 from 1 to 4. All of the details are in the Eventbrite link, which will be updated periodically until we get to the actual event. But it's going to be fire. It's been fire from the first one that we've ever done all the way up until last year. We're going to be playing the games. We got the rock, paper, scissors tournament or showdown will be there for a starter setup. I'm going to be debuting a new game, which I will let you know details about that in a future show. But there will be a prize package associated with that. And I am looking forward to it. It is 100% free. It is family friendly. Soft drinks will be provided if we're inside of a restaurant. If not, my brother will take care of you with some lemonades, the good stuff. So I hope to see you there March 26th, March 21st. It is a Saturday. I will be having something on Friday night for those who come in early. We have a Holiday Inn that is 5 minutes from the location in my house. We have a Hampton Inn that is also 5 minutes from the location of my house. It is in Monroeville. I will have links to all of that. There's no room block or anything like that. So get your room quick if you're going to come in. And then on Sunday, if you decide to stay on Sunday, I invite you to come to church with me. My man, John Crawley, Cowboy Crawley from Nashville, Tennessee. He came up last year. He went to church with me. Rick with Big Buckeye, his wife Jamie and their daughter came up and they went to church with me on Sunday. So it can be a whole weekend thing if you want it to be, or you can just come up on Saturday, have a good time, see some setups, eat some food, network with some people, and get your year started off with that much needed adrenaline boost after we come out of the off season in the winter. So if I don't care where you're from, you are invited. And if you have any questions about it, DM me at Mac underscore landscaping 412 and I will give you any details, answer any questions that you may have. But let's get into snow wars because for the last, it snowed while I was in Disney World a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I told you the story about that. My brother went out, he took care of everything. That was the first snowstorm. We didn't get any snow last year till we had one little thing on like the 17th where I went out and dropped some salt. That was it. And then it didn't snow again until, December or January 4th or something like that. But then it snowed for 17 out of 19 days, which was amazing. We always love that good snow. The white gold, as they call it, plowing that snow and making that dough. SL Landscape says he's outsold right now. They got a clipper system and it's freezing temperatures in eastern Pennsylvania. Hope y'all are making that bag. Let's go. I hope you are too, SL Landscapes. But this was my first one, and we had a couple new properties added on. I'll tell you real quick so you know my snow operation. It isn't extravagant. I don't have a 50 parking lots or something like that. We ain't doing 200,000 or 500,000 or anything like that when it comes to snow. I know there's some people out here who are absolutely crushing it in snow. My boy Talon is killing it. My homeboy Tommy, the 21-year-old Savage, is killing it. I know my man Fullerton up there in Michigan is killing it. My man Henrik with Thor Outdoor up in Michigan, I know he's killing it. Penn Outdoor is killing it. I've seen some people out here who are crushing in it when it comes to the snow. I'm crushing in my own smaller way, stress-free snow removal, just like stress-free lawn care. I have what I need to get myself through the winter. I ain't trying to be out there going. I almost cussed right there, but I didn't. But I ain't trying to be out there stressed to the max, trying to get everything done with my one plow truck. It is literally a one-man operation, just me. So I have 18 properties. I do a daycare parking lot. I have another office building parking lot, and then the other 16 are a bunch of long driveways that I can use the plow truck on. So very rarely do I have to get out of my truck. A couple of these driveways that I do are like 2 car, maybe 3 car deep driveways, and sometimes and they're pitched a little weird. So sometimes I can't use the truck on them, especially if there's a car there. So I use a 36-inch Boss push shovel to push things out the way. And so here's my setup for those properties that we have. I have a Ford F-350. If you're unfamiliar with my YouTube channel or Instagram and you've never seen the things that we use to get things done, but I have a Ford F-350 XL, so it has like the smaller back seat, a Boss DXT stainless steel 9.2-inch plow. It is a V plow. And then I have a Boss VBX 8000 that we use for the Salter. It's a 2-ton Salter in the back of the pickup truck. Like I said before, I have the 36-inch push shovel. And in this snowstorm, because I ain't gonna lie, the push shoveling is for the birds. It just is, man. For the things that I have to use it for, because some of the driveways have like cracks in them and things that I got to use this on. And if you know, you know, when you're pushing the push shovel and you blast a crack, man, you liable to break your sternum. Because I'm holding the handle with the two, my hands together like this, and we just pushing, and then bam, you hit that little. It could be a rock or some salt that didn't, melt, or a crack or whatever, and then bam, it just blasts you right in the chest. That is some pain. And I wear like 7 different shirts and a hoodie. I don't wear a big coat or anything like that. It'd be too hot out there. But that's the setup. And like recently, I used my backpack blower, the PB 9010. Oh my gosh, boy, the PB 9010. Hillside irrigation, one landscape. Thank you for your content. You are welcome, my friend. But boy, I tell you what, when I grabbed that backpack blower and I put that mug on my back, and boy, I was blowing these driveways off in no time. I mean, no time. And this ain't like a little 2-inch thing. We got some of these driveways 5 to 8 inches on them. And it was no, especially the only issue I had, and you're gonna have this issue even if you're using a shovel, is if someone drives over the snow, it compacts it down, and now it is very hard to get that, even with a push shovel. Another thing I had besides my backpack blower was the Pro Paddle with my PAS 2620, and using that for some stuff too. Once I ran out of gas, I learned that I got to take extra gas with me if I'm going to be using this backpack blower on some of these driveways. I also don't know, is it going to be annoying to people when we're out there in the middle of the night with a backpack blower? I don't know. I don't really care because we're going to use this backpack blower. I'm done with the shovel unless we absolutely need it. I promise you that. But anyway, so that's what I'm using. F-350, 9.2 V plow, Boss, VBX 8000. And one of the cool things about that, everything is so easy, especially if you've been using it. So I also have a Harbor Freight red bucket. Red's my favorite color. So I had a Lowe's one, it was blue, and I seen that Harbor Freight one that was red, and I said, off with your head, Blue. We going with the red, Blue. All right. So anyway, I got the red bucket, and the Boss VBX, the Salter, you can just open up the back where the spinner is and just fill up buckets right there. So I don't have to take bag salt with me like I used to or anything. So that is cool for the setup. My salt price increased by $10. So how do you handle that? Obviously, you gotta raise the price, but do you raise the price $10 for everyone? or do you just raise it 10%? Because that's what it really went up about 7.8% in price from 136 to 145. But I'm gonna add that 10% on so that we can cover all of those extra costs and things like that. So I'm raised my salt price up for this season accordingly, and we added two new long driveways. So the problem with these long driveways are the truck, the driveways are pitched so severely that a car could go up no problem. I mean, they're not pitched so bad that they're going to scrape the front end or the back end of a car, but when you got the plow in front and then the spinner from the Salter on the back, it increases obviously the length of the truck by I want to say like 5 feet. So now when we get to the driveway and it's pitched so severely, the plow hits into it. Now I already know it's pitched too bad, so I didn't even try to get up there. But I could literally scrape the thing and go up the driveway, but then the spinner is going to scrape off the street as we go up the driveway. And if I try to back up it, I'm just going to back the spinner straight into the driveway and it's going to break. I've already had this issue, so for one of the other driveways, uh, that is it's also pitched, but it just ain't as bad as this. So that now I can drive up there. And what I did was I put some 4x4s under my Salter and then we strapped it down and that raised it up another 4 inches. So now that one driveway that I was having issues with, we don't scrape there anymore. But this one is just they're too crazy. So what I did was is I have a Toro multi-force. If you're unfamiliar with the Toro Multi-Force, it is a lawnmower where you can take off the deck and then you can put on different attachments. I want to say they have something like 18 or 20 different attachments for the thing now, and I think they're coming out with even more stuff. Like they have a not a plow jack, but a mower jack that you can put in there and use the hydraulics to raise and lower, so you can clean under the deck, change your blades, and those type of things, which is actually kind of cool. So I'm going to be looking to get that, but it has a whole lot of attachments. Right now, I have the mulch force bucket for my multi-force. I have the aerator attachment, and I have the dethatcher attachment. I do want to add the blower attachment for leaves, probably in the spring, and I want the plow attachment. And I never really had a reason for it before because the other drive, it's not like I can drive around with the Pro Blade or whatever the hell the thing's called for the Toro plow. I'm not sure exactly what the name of the plow is called, but it's a 4 foot blade or whatever. And I don't have anything. I'm not going to pull a trailer around with that. So next year I'm gonna get a ramp rack system, and I think start that second truck with just that thing. But for right now, I wouldn't be able to transport it during a snowstorm, obviously. So I did order the plow setup because these two driveways are so pitched. And it took me, I want to say one took me 43 minutes, the other one took me 27 minutes. So a little, about an hour and a half or so to do these two driveways. It's dope to get the pay is good because if I gotta push the driveway, we gonna charge more, obviously. But once I get that multi-force suited and booted, we got the light system, we got the weighted tires, the snow tires, the plow. I think that's everything, and the 4 foot plow. So that's what we got for that. With the backpack blower and 6 to 8 inches on these two driveways, I was able to blow them off with that backpack blower and everything in about an hour and 20 minutes or so. I remember when I went from push mowing with my 20 inch to my 30 inch, and then from the 30 inch to my 48 inch, and from the 48 to the 52, and from the 52 to the 60. And I remember how much time was saved on each of those occasions. When I went from the push mower 21 to the push mower 30, we went from an hour and 15 to about 50 minutes to do this one particular yard. It was my first ever yard. When we went from that 30 to the 48, it went from 50 to about 15. 52 from about 15 to about 13. From the 52 to the 60, from about 13 to about 10. And now we do this property in 10 minutes. So I remember what that was like. I can only imagine how fast we about to plow these snow off these driveways, this 4-foot plow. And the houses are right next to each other. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna park the multi-force at one of the houses. We're gonna tarp it. It has an EFI system, which is specifically for the cold. But this house also has a garage that I was told I'll be able to use to keep the thing in there if I want to. But we have that thing order, and I am excited for it to arrive, and so we can get that thing put on. But that PB 9010 leaf blower is fire, bro. I mean fire. And I hadn't been taking it with me. My man John Doyle, Doyle Brothers Lawn Care, he's the number one rated on Google. He got like 190 or something Google reviews, and he be responding wild to people if they leave something crazy. I mean, crazy. Look up Doyle Brothers, DoyleBros, Monroeville. He got a 1-star review. And what he said to this person is nuts. You got to see it, man. So go look up my man John Doyle. But he was like, "Yeah, I'm using." I said, "What are you?" He said, "I got 32 driveways to do." I'm like, "What you using to do the driveways?" And he sent me a picture of a little single stage snow blower, which is cool. I have one of those too. I haven't used it yet. And then he was like, and my backpack blower. So he went out and used the backpack blower. Now I have seen people use it before, but I was like, you know what? I'm tired of blasting my sternum with this damn shovel. So let me take my backpack blower. So I filled that mug up, took it with me, and boy, was it a great choice. Whew, it was a great choice. But that was basically it for snow. We went out for 24 straight hours. What I did was I went out. We had the snowstorm started around 1:30, 2 o'clock. By 4 o'clock, it was bad. By 7 o'clock, we had, I don't know, 3, 4 inches on the ground, and the streets were bad. So I went out. I took care of everything. We went out pre-salted at the front of the route and everything. We went through. By the time we got towards the end of the route, we had to plow. So we pretty much plowed everything on Saturday. Then I get done around 2 o'clock in the morning, dog tired, go down, lay down in the bed. And then I get a phone call. Hey, such and such driveways covered, whatever. And I'm like, all right, I had just woke up. So when the person called me, I had just woke up. I was like, I'm literally on my way to get the salt now. I'll be there in 30 minutes. Got out there. We went through the whole plow route again. And unfortunately, I had to miss the Christmas play at my church, which was called, I don't even, the Pittsburgh Express, I think. I don't know. I can't remember. And I didn't get to see it. So unfortunately, I wasn't there. But we made some good money, boy. I tell you what, the hazard, the hazard pay plus the wear and tear on your truck, plus the cold, the environment that you're in, the danger and the risk that you got to go through. You have to make sure that you have your stuff priced so you can actually make money. Because when you do that, boy, I promise you, it is one of the best feelings ever. I hate the snow. I don't like cold weather at all. I don't want to go out there. I'd much rather stay in the house, drink some hot cocoa, snuggle with the wife, you know, sit in front of the fireplace, have that good time. But then they say money, 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 money. And I'm like, the snow is falling. Let me get out here. Man, I tell you what. That snow money is some good money. That's why they call it the white gold. But that was my 24 hours. I had a wonderful time taking care of everything. Let me go through here and see if we have any questions or anything like that. If you have anything, now is the time because I'm about to get on up out of here. So if you have any questions or you want to talk about anything, I would appreciate it if you let me know now. And don't forget about the Wednesday show with my man Ricky's Pro Lawn Service. I've been doing a bad job of promoting the things that I do. My wife was like, "You got to start putting reels out." I got, I don't know, maybe 1,000 pieces of content in terms of reels from the different YouTube videos that I've done and the different lives I've done, and I just have really failed myself and the viewers and the listeners by not putting this stuff out. But let me know, do you want to see reels of these shows and reels of the YouTube channel? Because if you do, I'll start just putting them out. I won't worry about so much, and I'm not really worried about them being perfect. That's why I do things live right now. This is it. This is what you get, and that's what happens. There's a little bit of production quality when it comes to creating a YouTube video because I want to make sure it's good for the person watching. But ask anyone who I've ever done a shop tour with. It is one take. Every video I've ever done has been one take. Once I get going. Recently down there in Florida, I had a trouble like starting the video for one of I think the last one that's coming out on Friday. But usually it's just straight up, boom, here it is. I redid one video because if I do a shop tour with you, I want to make sure that you are painted in a good light. Everything ain't all glitz and glamour. I'm gonna be real with that. That's why Ricky's Pro Lawn Services new shop tour was dope because he actually had some issues he was going through. Everything ain't all glitzy and glamour. All right, there is a lot of shit going on out here, and there's things that break, and there's employees that don't show up, and there's all types of different things that happen. But everything I do is literally one take. All right. So I cut some bull crap out of the YouTube videos that would be boring. And I probably need to even cut more than I have been doing to make sure that everything is flowing and good for the viewer. But for the most part, everything is live, basically like this. So I would love to come check you out if you are interested in doing a shop tour. I'll be coming to Ohio at some point, I think in the winter. I want to see some plow setups and things like that. If you have that and you're in Pittsburgh, I would love to come see you. If you're in Ohio or anywhere like that, I would love to come see you. I want to let you know I will be going to New Orleans at the end of January from the 26th or 7th through the 30th for the Sync Live conference down there. And so if you are in the New Orleans area, I'll be coming down a day early, and I would love to come see your shop and do a shop tour video with you. All you got to do is DM me at Mac_landscaping 412 on Instagram. Let me know you're interested, or email me at maclandscaping412 at gmail.com. Let me know that you are interested, and I would love to come check you out. He says, "Hey, do you know about floods in Washington?" I do not, unfortunately. Harold Wilson says, "What's up, Mac Wilson Lawn Care? Cold weekend now, back in the 50s." That is, what's crazy? Today, at the time of this recording, Monday, it was 22 degrees. Yesterday, it was 16 degrees. Tomorrow, it's going to be 24 degrees, I believe, which would be Tuesday. Then on Thursday, it's gonna be like 38. And then Friday, it's gonna be 60. The Thursday, it's gonna be 60. And then Friday, it's gonna be 30 again. What the hell, Mother Nature? Come on, man. My little brother says he's in here, proud of you. Snow insurance is a separate cost. Yes, that is one thing you have to make sure that you have is snow insurance. It is a more pricey. Obviously, there's a lot more risk when it comes to doing snow removal, but make sure you have the correct insurances, man. I know there's probably some people who are out here who are plowing snow with trucks and all of this stuff, and they might not have insurance, man. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. If you are in business of any kind, get yourself general liability coverage. You gotta have it, man. If you break anything, oh, my goodness gracious. If you're a sole proprietor and you don't have insurance, oh my gosh, man, you're really scaring me. All right, you don't want your house or your assets being taken because you're running around here not legit and not taking care of yourself. You're only hurting you. So make sure you have that insurance. If you have people working for you, make sure that they are insured drivers on your insurance policy. Make sure you have workman's comp insurance and all of the things that you need to protect yourself because if you want to do stress-free lawn care or stress-free snow removal, one of the two most important things to me that give me the most stress is proper insurance and taxes. We are at the end of 2026. If you haven't been operating legitly, now's your time to make that change. Got to make that change. You got to start operate. And I don't usually tell people what they gotta do or what they need to do. But I think this is a universal thing. You need to have insurance, the proper insurances. And you need to be sheesh, I just lost my train of thought. The proper insurances, you need to have that and you need to be paying those taxes. My gosh, man, you do not want to go through audits and all of these things. And it's bound to happen eventually where you're going to get audited. But if you've been paying your taxes and you've been doing things the right way, well, you ain't going to be stressed out like I was when I wasn't doing things the right way. Soon as I started doing things the right way, I promise you, you sleep better at night. Soon as you get the right insurances and you're paying your taxes, you will sleep good at night. And you will see the actual real results of what you actually created. Because it's one thing to just get the money and spend the money. It's another thing to get the money, pay the taxes that you're supposed to pay and all of that. Put your money where it needs to go so that it's working for you. And then the extra, then you can spend. But make sure you're doing things the right way. That's the one thing that I will always say. I won't ever tell you what you need to do. I'll only tell you what I do, and then you can use it however you want to use it. All right. But what you definitely need to do is have the proper insurances and make sure you're paying your taxes. Um, my man Catspaw says you got to come to Madison, Wisconsin. We got a few good men. I got some people up in Wisconsin, don't you know? So I do want to get up there to Wisconsin. Some people invited me to California. That's another place I would like to get to. I'm gonna be going to down to New Orleans. He says turn on the Steeler game. Yeah, we about to get to that in a minute, but I'm gonna tell you what's more important to me than the Steelers, and that is you, the person who's watching right now or listening right now. The Steelers are living their dream. This is the last shot right here. Let me hit this banner. All right. The Steelers or the NFL players, they are living their dream. I don't watch that stuff as much as I used to. I damn sure ain't listening to First Take or Stephen A. Smith or any of these people on the damn television talking about sports. And the reason is because now I'm 42 years old and I realized I was living through other people's dreams. Sometimes a parent will have their kid play a sport, and because they were shitty at the sport and they weren't good, and their child shows some semblance of athleticism or something, then they try to be this parent that's always on the kids back, telling them what they need to do because they never succeeded. That ain't me. All right, I ain't trying to do that. So, damn, where the hell was I going with that? He just says, oh, the Stiller game. So I ain't one of those people who are trying to live my dream. That's what parents a lot of times do is they try to live their dream through their child. They didn't make it, so they do everything they can and push their child, and eventually the kid don't like it. They get burnt out because the overbearing parent who never was shit in sports. All right. The Steelers, my favorite team. I grew up watching them. I love football and I love basketball. I wish that I could have done that stuff. That time has passed for me. But every time I look out there, I'm pretty sure I'm older than every single. Well, I'm not now. I'm not now. Because Philip Rivers just played for the Colts. He's 44. I'm 42. And I'm almost positive I am older than every single person in the NBA and every single person in NFL outside of Philip Rivers. And maybe there's a kicker out there who's 45 or something like that. I don't know. But here's what I do know. They live in their dream. They doing what they love, playing a kid's game and getting paid handsomely for it. And more power to them. Bless them. They are blessed. The God seen fit in those people who made it to the highest level in sports and athletics. He gave them that talent so that they could be that. I wasn't blessed with that. So I got to work in what my blessing is. And my blessing seems to be helping other people to either get started or believe they can do better so that their businesses can be more flourishing, their lives can be better and more rewarding. And then they feel like they're actually winning in life, like all of the players that I grew up admiring that actually saved my life because of what they was doing. So that one day I could come here and talk to you. So the Steelers can wait, bro. The Steelers can wait because you're more important. The people who are watching this show, trying to get a word or a message from it. It ain't church. I'm not a pastor. All right. But the Lord speaks through people. And so maybe whatever I said today, because God gave it to me, was what you needed to hear so that you could go out and win in your life, just like I hope the Steelers are doing right now. So don't live through other people's visions and dreams. Have your own visions and dreams and get working on them. And then once you start to achieve them, come back, man. Watch the Steelers then. That's what we're going to do. But I appreciate you. I love you. I got nothing but respect, admiration, and appreciation for you. You could have been anywhere in the world. You could be watching Monday Night Football, but you're here with me, and I appreciate it. But as always, I love you. I appreciate you. I wish you nothing but success. And remember, the Creator created you to be creative. So get out there and create whatever you want in your life. Just like Susan Bennett, go through the things that you don't understand. All right. Because the creator created you to be creative and you can create whatever you want in your life because you deserve it. I'm out. Peace.